Hello and welcome to today's video. In this one we are going to be painting an ARC trooper from Star Wars Legion. These guys just came out, so we're gonna paint these guys. So of course the primary color of clone troopers and stormtroopers is white, so you want to get a nice white primer on them, and then what I like to do is go into the black parts, which is like like the creases of the armor, the gloves, the guns, and all that stuff too. So we're gonna get into that. So we'll start with just a plain black from Vallejo. For this I'm using a pretty small brush because there's a lot of like little cracks that you have to get into. So let's get to it. So we'll start here in between the arms. You don't have to be that crazy with it because we are going to wash this with a black wash, and that will fill in a lot of nonsense for us, so we don't have to be too crazy right now. Especially like with the visor and stuff, I don't mess with that. I let the wash take care of it. Let me get between the legs here. And try not to hit the white because it's gonna suck going back over that later, but this is something we're gonna have to do for this guy. Just looking at my reference while I'm doing this, because I'm going to be painting this guy like fives from the Clone Wars. And there's a couple ways you can go when you're, so what I like to do, I'll show you really quick with this. Get the little breathers, because when the wash hits these, it doesn't get them as good. There we go. Cool. So I'm gonna be painting this guy like fives. I'll be painting. I bought two sets of these guys. One of them is gonna be 501st colors, and then the other one's gonna be the red colors that are kind of like on the box right here, like these colors. It's weird because this comes with 5 ARC troopers and then 5s in Echo by themselves, and you can add them on. But I'm just gonna be painting. I'm going to be including them in my army anyway, without like the points cost of it, because they're pretty expensive to use in your army. They're like 40 points for Echo, and then 5s is like 39 or something like that. So let's get these little straps. Are these little black things? Just trying to make sure I get my colors pretty correct. Okay, so there's a couple ways you can paint this. You can paint this like the realistic style, or you can paint it in the Clone Wars cartoon style. I'm gonna be going for a Clone Wars cartoon. That's where he's from anyway, and that's what the majority of my army looks like anyway. Is Clone Wars cartoon style. Ooh, this brush is almost on its like last legs here. I'm painting these little guys black. Yeah. And then we're gonna paint his pauldrons black, along with these little ammo pouches. This brush is splitting. Alright, we're gonna abandon this brush. Abandoned brush, abandoned brush. Back to the little guy. So let's paint his pauldron. The pauldrons are black on 5s, except the left shoulder, the right shoulder has like a gray, has gray toppers on it. So we're just, same thing for the backpack. We get the backpack is black too, with some gray bits on it. There's a lot of black on these guys. They are Special Forces choice for Star Wars Legion game. I haven't won a game with my clones yet, but I like to think that one day I will. And maybe these guys will help me be able to accomplish that goal of actually winning a game. They're pretty cool. I like their design. I love clones, so as soon as they said that, I played this back when it first came out, Legion, and I wasn't really a big fan of it. But I said, like, if Fantasy Flight ever releases Clone Wars stuff, I'm in, because clones are my favorite. So I put my money where my mouth was. And they're also coming out with them for Armada, going all in on those. I went all in on them for X-Wing, which is another, those games are really easy. X-Wing and Armada I would recommend if you don't really want to paint models yet, but you want to get like a miniature game feel, because those are good starter games because you don't have to paint anything. You don't have to paint anything ever anyway, but they're already pre-painted and everything. You don't have to worry about it. So we're almost done with his pauldrons here. Gotta get the under. Let's, now that we're not working around spots anymore, we can go in with the bigger brush. Just try to repoint it so you can just see how your hand kind of folds there, so you can take the brush, put it in there, and then spin and pull out. You'll kind of get a point back on it. It's a quick and dirty trick if you need to repoint a brush really fast, especially if you're working with stuff. So let's paint the blaster. This brush is done pretty much. It's good, I got more, they're cheap. And then once the brush is dead, you can just kind of throw it into your pile and use it for basing later. Like just use it putting like glue down, or putting washes, like stuff you don't really super care about. Just switch to like a little bit different brush. It's okay though. It's just like it's a little thicker, but it'll do the job. It's got a really nice point on it, so we'll be able to get arms and stuff, get better details into these guys. This is a pretty boring step, just getting all the black down, but like these guys really transform once you get the wash on them. Like I like to do is let the paints do the work for you. You don't have to go crazy, and I mean, we're not going to win any competitions, so definitely don't be thinking that, but your stuff will be painted and it's going to be good. So let's just get that whole hand. We gotta get the spots that we missed here. This is a weird brush. Not used to this one yet. Those. Okay, and then we also have to get around the comma here. So, like I was saying, there's a couple ways you can paint these guys. The Clone Wars cartoon version that we'll be going for has the inside of the comma here gray. I think the realistic version is white inside. So, just keep that in mind when you're doing your commas and stuff. So I'm just going to do the outline here in black. Okay, let's get this leading edge here. Oops. Hopefully I didn't spread that. Okay, good. I was like, let's get this guy. Clean that up. We gotta get the bottom of it now. Okay. Let's get this backpack. Let's see if I can find like a better. I think it's black with like little gray bits on it. So let's paint the whole thing. Also, another disappointment for this kit for me was it came with, like, you're allowed to put jetpacks on the ARC Troopers, but it only came with 2 jetpacks, and they're like for dudes that are posed like they're flying. And I'm like, I don't really want to make my guys look like they're flying, because flying bases traditionally aren't very stable platforms to put your guys. They'll break all the time. So maybe if I can just have them on the ground with jetpacks on. I mean, I guess I can with like, but only have 2. So that kind of sucks. I wish there was 5 for all, or like, because it gives you enough to build everybody. There should have been 5, 6, 7 jetpacks. So that's a little complaint I have about this kit. I also had some weird issues when I was gluing them together. Like the arms didn't want to stay glued very well, which I haven't had that problem with these guys yet. Like when I built Padme, she was pretty easy to put together. You don't have to paint that little nub on the top because that is going to be gray. So if you know something is going to be a different color, then you don't have to spend all that time on it. But knowing me, I'll probably forget, so it's better to hit it than not. Okay, so that does it with our black coat on this guy. We're gonna have to clean up a lot of white, but that's fine. Okay, so now we'll take our medium sea gray to get the gray bits on these guys, and there's quite a bit of gray on them. I think it's like their boots. This little armor piece on their chests is gray. I was like, where's the armor pieces? Right here. This is going on very weird. What is that? Thought it would be a thicker plate than this, but that's how I decided to make it. You should get in there even though it is covered. You don't see it, but you know it's there. Okay, and then these upper parts of the boots here are gray. It's like tearing. I wonder if it's the weather that's messing with this stuff. Or if it's just that brush that I don't know what the hell it does. you get their little boots. Also the tops of their shoes right here. Have a gray plate on them too. And then I think their wrists units are gray, besides the parts that are hit with the blue stripe. So we'll do that. Let's clean up in here. Okay. Same thing on this guy. Try to get it on as smooth as you can. Better end results the smoother your paint is. You don't want it to be all chunky on there. Get the plate on the shoe. Okay, same thing. Get the little arm unit here. Let's get the sides of it, because that's going to be blue. Okay. Now while we're here, let's get the little details here. The gray. Get those little greebles that are on this thing. Make it look more Star Warsy. I think that's a word, right? Star Warsy. We'll get this little guy there. Okay, now let's get the inside of the comma here. Try to be careful not to hit the black that we got earlier. I mean, to go over on the black is fine though. I mean, it's a darker color, so it will be easy to go over if we do mess up. Remember, we're washing it, so a lot of these little nooks and crannies can get taken care of for us. If we just go a little bit heavier on the wash in those areas. So just let the tools do the work for you. So yeah, like I was saying, the clones are my jam. My favorite clone is Wolf. If you have a favorite clone, go ahead and leave that in the comments and tell me why you like that clone. I really like Wolf, just because like the style of his armor is really cool. I like the helmet. I actually have a real one of his helmets painted that I painted in my house right now, in this room actually. Because I've worked on some clone armor in the past for me to wear. But as originally I was doing the Fordo, I think, the red guy. I was doing it from the Clone Wars cartoon, but then I watched more of the Clone Wars show and really was like, oh yeah, Wolf is dope. Let's just kind of smear this in back here. As we, oops, try not to do that. All right. So now we can go on to the blue markings. Don't worry, we'll clean up the light. Don't worry, guys. So I used to use ultramarine for this. This is what color I did with my Rex, which is right here. I showed this before, but just to make him match all the rest of the 501st guys, I have to do the red. See, he's got a jetpack. It's 3D printed. Not by me, bought it from some other guy on Etsy when I bought my commander, because my other squads are, like I said, the Cody and Wolf squad. So to make leaders for the Phase 2 troopers, I bought 3D printed versions of those guys, and those are what I use as the leader of those units whenever I can get Phase 2s again, because those guys are sold out everywhere, and they're, because of Corona, the printing is not as good. I mean, not as this is not happening. So like, there's no restocks happening of them right now, so they're really hard to get, which sucks. Sucks competitively for this game, because then right now we're already stuck with not that many units, and then to not be able to find one of the units, it's kind of like oof. But also, you know, people are dying, so I get it. So we're getting his knee pads first, since, you know, it's right here. They're not full, they don't go full wraparound blue. You just do the first half. And he's got these blue stripe lines across his legs. So let's try not to mess those up too much. They go from these little dots right here, so. Just carry it halfway. Just do your best. Shaky hands be damned. Just find, oops, I did not hit that at all. Okay. Same thing on this side. Going from these little thingies. That's kind of hidden in there. And this one. Oof. So like that. We'll clean that up. Don't worry. Okay. Let's get our reference on. Oh god, there's some light on here. Well then, never mind. The reference is usually on my phone, but like I say, the phone is what I use to record, so these are all blue. Okay, so it's gonna be the back of this elbow pad that would have it. Let me do the same here. Stripe, 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 the blue there. And he's got F5s has this blue triangle like within a triangle here, so it's like a little triangle here that's filled in, and he's got like another line on the outside. So something kind of like that. It's very small, so bear with me. Also on 5s, his cheeks are filled in. Blue. And then he's got this trying to get this. This is blue. And it kind of goes out a little bit. And it's got little, like, let's just go down here and do it. Got like little things that come off of it, kind of. And kind of like that. He's got a red diamond in the middle, so we'll get that in a second. But while we're here, let's go ahead and I messed up and didn't get his gray pauldrons on this side, so we're just doing the top, trying to hit the top only of it, not get in the cracks. But if it's super watery, that just happens. I can already hear you yelling at me too. The comma, you didn't paint the comma yet. I know. But I have to fix the problems as I notice them, or else I'm not very likely to go back to them and fix them. There we go. Okay, so let's get that, and then let's go. I also missed, notice back here that there was, this should be black right here. As he smears all over the armor. Okay, so now we go back to the comma. So the comma also has triangles on it. It's just like, let me see here. Let's see if we can do this. So it goes like that. I don't quite know how they look on the back, but we'll just continue it. There, and it has another one on the top here, kind of like his chest. So that gets his comma figured out. And now we got to clean up our mess with the matte white that we used to prime it, because we got stuff everywhere and this boy does not look clean, especially like right here, like where the spots are really messed right here, and then in and around here we hit a lot of parts of the armor that we didn't want to. I'll clean that up again. Clean that up, clean that little bit up. Okay. Let me go back to black really quick. Just clean up that line, the holsters, and then if we can, actually, we'll take our gray, try to clean up the chest a little bit, see if we can get that a little bit more pronounced. Not as bad there. Okay. Oh, and we gotta get his little, take the vermilion for his little red triangle he's got on his head. We're not gonna be able to paint a triangle that small, of course, but we can just do a little mark to be like, okay, there it is. And then we go to the wash stage. So we get our brush. Let's get the one that we threw away this time around. We use Dawn Oil from Citadel as our wash. Nice black wash is going to be able to get into all these little crooks and crannies. So you want to put a lot on your brush, but then when you spread it around, start to thin it out in areas as you go over them. Especially if the paint's wet too, you want to be careful, because you can mess some stuff up. But so just kind of go over the areas, but move it, or you like try to move it around a lot, not like how we normally do when we just kind of slosh it around. Like just try to be a little bit sparing with it so it doesn't turn the model pitch black, you know. You want to stay away from those areas really quick because that's where we hadn't hit the paint on to clean up the areas. So let's just hit those ones last. And like, you know, this fits with the whole, like that's why I made it and said like, oh, I'm doing animated, because the animated clones are pretty dirty. So doing it this way, you kind of get away with it. You don't have to go crazy into the whole making sure they're really shiny. And you know, clone troopers wouldn't be shiny, right? They're fighting all day, every day. So and then once it's all dry, you can go ahead and go through and, you know, do a little dry brush with some metallics over the top of the blasters and the armor and the backpack and stuff, just to give them a little bit more dimension than just flat black colors. Just wash those grays though. Make sure you get the comma. But then see, this is what I'm talking about. You take it off your brush, take the wash off your brush, and then just kind of lightly go over this to kind of clear a lot of the areas up, because you still want to be able to see the detail in there that we painted. And then so for the helmet, I'm going to put the bulk of it on the middle part so it gets into that visor. And then same thing for the neck. You want to get that neck seal covered up. And try to take it out of there because you want to see the blue that you put in there. Go ahead and take it out and put it over those areas that we were waiting on to do. You can see they're still kind of wet because some of the white got under my brush. Go ahead and make sure you can pull it a little bit into the nook of the neck. And then get the back of the comma here. And just give it a once over. I think that gives us a 5s for our Legion army. You know, as always, thanks for watching. I think he turned out pretty cool. I have lots more of them to paint. Ooh, you can see, like, you can kind of see it didn't pull so great there. Get it. And then we get our little turntable here. Ah! You know, one day we'll have this figured out. And we'll put him here. And